Women don't cheat the way they used to. Hence this video. 5 modern red flags men should never ignore. Have you noticed that? Cheating doesn't always look like lipstick on a collar anymore. It doesn't always start with late night phone calls. It doesn't always with obvious evidence. In today's world, people have become smarter at hiding things. Social media, private messaging apps, disappearing chats, fake stories, and carefully planned excuses have changed the game. I'm not saying every woman is cheating. I'm not saying every relationship is built on lies. But if you've ever felt like something wasn't adding up, if you've ever ignored your instincts because you didn't want to seem controlling, then this video is for you. Today we're going to talk about 5 modern relationship red flags that many men say they've experienced. These signs don't automatically mean someone is cheating, but they are patterns that deserve attention, honesty, and serious conversation. Let's get into it. Number 1, the female friend you've never seen. Listen carefully. One of the easiest covers in modern dating is introducing an invisible friend into the story. She constantly says she's with her female friend. My friend called. I'm sleeping at my friend's place. My friend and I are hanging out. My friend wants us to go out. Week after week, month after month. You've never met this friend. You've never spoken to her. You've never seen a picture together. You barely know her name. Everything about this person exists only in conversations. Now, does that automatically mean she's lying? No. People deserve privacy and friendships. But when someone's life revolves around a person who somehow remains invisible to you, it's reasonable to notice the inconsistency. Healthy relationships don't require every detail to be shared, but they also don't require mysterious characters that appear whenever explanations are needed. Sometimes the issue isn't the friend. It's the lack of transparency. Trust grows where openness exists. Number 2. The phone suddenly becomes a secret. Have you noticed how someone's relationship with their phone can suddenly change? Before, the phone could stay on the table. Notifications weren't a big deal. She could leave the room without taking it. Then one day, everything changes. The phone is always face down. The screen brightness is lowered. The phone follows her everywhere. Messages disappear instantly. Chats are deleted. Notifications are hidden. She quickly turns the screen away whenever you're nearby. Again, privacy is healthy. Everyone deserves personal space. But secrecy and privacy are 2 different things. Privacy says, I have personal conversations. Secrecy says, I don't want you to know what's happening. If someone suddenly changes how they protect their phone without any explanation, it's worth paying attention. Not because the phone itself proves anything, but because sudden changes in behavior often reveal changes somewhere else. Number 3, girls' night out starts becoming a weekly tradition. Let's make one thing clear first. There is absolutely nothing wrong with spending time with friends. A healthy relationship should never stop someone from having a social life. The problem isn't having a girls' night. The problem is when it becomes the answer to almost everything. Every Friday, she's going out. Every Saturday, she's unavailable. Sometimes it's both weekends. Whenever you suggest spending quality time together, she already has plans. After a while, you begin to notice something. She always seems excited to make time for everyone else. But spending time with you starts to feel like an obligation instead of something she genuinely looks forward to. Maybe she tells you she's going to a lounge with the girls. Maybe it's a birthday dinner. Maybe it's just we're hanging out. There's nothing wrong with any of those things by themselves. But ask yourself this question. Is she putting the same energy into your relationship that she puts into her social life? A relationship can't survive on leftovers. If you're always getting whatever time is left after everyone else has been prioritized, eventually you'll start feeling like an option instead of a partner. The biggest issue isn't the girls' night itself. It's when every reasonable question is treated like an accusation. If simply asking, how was your evening? Or who did you go with? Immediately turns into, why don't you trust me? Then communication is already breaking down. In healthy relationships, people don't have to report every detail of their lives, but they also don't make their partner feel guilty for asking normal questions. The strongest relationships aren't built on blind trust. They're built on openness, reassurance, and consistent behavior. Number 4, she suddenly gets angry over the smallest things. One of the most confusing experiences in a relationship is when someone who used to be calm suddenly starts picking fights over almost everything. The way you said good morning, The time you called, the emoji you used, the fact that you asked where she was. Things that never caused problems before suddenly become major arguments. You find yourself apologizing for things you don't even understand. You begin walking on eggshells because you never know what will trigger the next disagreement. Now, everyone has stressful days. Work pressure, family problems, and personal struggles can affect anyone's mood. But when unnecessary conflict becomes a pattern, it's worth paying attention. Sometimes people create emotional distance before they create physical distance. If someone feels guilty about something, they may unconsciously look for reasons to justify pulling away. Instead of addressing what's really bothering them, they redirect the frustration toward their partner. Again, this doesn't automatically mean someone is cheating, but constant conflict without honest communication can slowly damage the trust. A healthy partner doesn't look for reasons to fight. They look for ways to solve problems. If every conversation turns into an argument and every disagreement ends with you being blamed, it's time to ask whether the relationship is built on teamwork or constant emotional pressure. Number 5, excuses become more common than quality time. Life gets busy. People work long hours. Unexpected situations happen. Nobody expects the partner to be available every single minute. But there's a difference between being busy and making excuses. At first, the excuses sound reasonable. I'm tired. I've had a long day. My family needs me. My friend isn't feeling well. I'll make it up to you next weekend. The next weekend comes, and there's another excuse. Weeks turn into months. The promises stay the same, but nothing ever changes. Slowly, you begin to notice that she somehow finds time for social media, outings, friends, and other activities. But quality time with you keeps getting postponed. Relationships don't usually end because of one missed date. They weaken because one missed effort becomes another and another until the connection slowly fades. The truth is simple. People generally make time for what matters to them. That doesn't mean they'll always be available, but it does mean you'll feel like a priority instead of an afterthought. If you're constantly receiving promises instead of actions, don't just listen to the words. Pay attention to the pattern. Consistency reveals priorities better than excuses ever will. And here's something many people overlook. If you constantly have to beg for attention, ask for basic communication, or remind someone to spend time with you, the issue may no longer be scheduling. It may be commitment. A relationship should bring peace more often than confusion. If you're always left guessing where you stand, it's worth having an honest conversation about whether both of you are still investing in the relationship at the same way. The goal isn't to become suspicious of every little thing. The goal is to recognize when a pattern keeps repeating and to address it with maturity, honesty, and self-respect before resentment takes over. Here's the part most people won't tell you. The biggest mistake many men make isn't missing the signs. It's ignoring them. Not because they're weak, because they're hopeful. They convince themselves everything is fine. They don't want to seem insecure. They don't want to be called controlling. So they silence their instincts. But there's another mistake that's just as dangerous. Assuming every unusual behavior means cheating. That mindset destroys good relationships too. The healthiest response isn't spying. It isn't following someone around. It isn't checking phones. It's having honest conversations. It's paying attention to patterns instead of isolated incidents. Trust should never be blind, but suspicion should never replace communication. If someone consistently refuses transparency, avoids accountability, and dismisses every concern without discussion, then you have important decisions to make. A relationship without trust becomes exhausting for everyone involved. So here's my question for you. Have you ever experienced one of these situations? Did your instincts turn out to be right? Or did you discover there was another explanation? Share your experience respectfully in the comments. Your story might help someone else avoid making the wrong decision. If you enjoyed this discussion, subscribe for more videos on modern relationships, dating psychology, and self-improvement. Remember this, protect your peace, value honesty. I never ignore patterns, but never jump to conclusions either.